Hey, what's up, guys? So I was thinking about how I can help you guys understand basic market structure and how to build out an idea. So this is kind of like if you look at the very beginning of any trading book, there's like the theory, right? Oh, it's really simple, guys. Like the stock, it's going to go up. Uh, it's going to go up, and when it pulls back, you just buy and then hold it and then buy some more and keep on holding it. Or, you short, it goes down, you can add, or like, you'll cover, you'll short again, cover, short again, cover. It's like, yeah, that's great. And then you actually go to an actual stock and, you guys start looking at this, you're like, what in the hell is going on, right? So, to help you guys out a little bit, I was talking to a guy before, and I started thinking about. I was like, man, dude, like I forgot what it was like to be an absolute beginner. So how I'm gonna help you guys out is, to understand how to read a candlestick, right? So on a green candle, it means that there's buying pressure. A green candle means that it opens down here and it closes up here because it's going to open low. They're going to buy up, and then at the end of whatever the candle is, the 1 minute, the 5 minute, whatever, it's going to close up here. And to show you that, I'm going to go to my chart. So right now, if you look in the top right hand corner, this says 1 minute, right? So if I come over here and I click on, I don't know, 5 minute. Well, now each one of these shows what happened in that candle in a 5 minute. That's 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way through the end of the day, right? Or I can go here, I click on, it shows the last 5 days, 15 minutes. Each one of these candlesticks represents a 15-minute time span. And, so on and so forth. You start going to like, the hourly shows, the hourly. Each one of these sorry. Each one of these candlesticks represents 1 hour, right? So when I'm looking at the chart, what I want is I want a big green candle. This is exactly what I want, right? If I'm looking at a zone, like imagine if, how do I want to explain this? Imagine if this is the start of the zone, right? And say that this is, well, you guys are learning gap and crap. So a good example is the levels I give you guys for the gap and crap. If it goes into this level, it has to break into this level for it to even to care about the stock. What it does outside of this level doesn't matter. For instance, like if I go over here, go back to my 1 minute. So this golden area is the level that I want you guys to focus on. So in my example, anything below that, I don't care. Essentially, what I want you guys to focus on is, and this is probably isn't the best stock to be looking at. Let's do, well, that's gonna have to do. It's gonna have to do. So imagine if the golden zone is ideal, but realistically, it's got anywhere from this blue line to the bottom of the golden zone. This is the only area that I care about at all. And everything below that doesn't matter. All you care about is what it does when it reacts in this area. That's it. And so when you go back to this, when this thing pops up into here, I don't just want a green candle. What I want is I want to see a green candle, but then I want to see a long wick. What the wick means is that this thing popped up, price opened here. It goes all the way up to here, and then it sells off. Somebody sold their position, or short sellers like us got in and drove the price back down to here, and then in a 1 minute candle or a 5 minute candle, it closed down here. Then I want to see like a doji, which is a small body candle. This long green and this long red is called the body of the candle. I want to have a big body with a nice wick on top, and then I want to see something that has like a very, very short body. This can be like an indecision candle. And what I want to see on this thing, I don't really want to see anything on the bottom, but what I do want to see is on the top. And what I want is either it can't break over this level, or what's even better is it breaks a little bit above the level and then breaks back below, and then this can either close honestly green or red, or like it really doesn't matter. Like honestly, like up here, green is probably the best because it's showing that there's gonna be a lot of volume stuck in here, right? Because I want this thing to open, I want it to pop up, and I want it to close a little bit high, and then I want it to open. And what's even better about this one is if this also has a nice wick, but it's shorter than this one up here. Why do I like that? Because what these green wicks are showing me is that people are buying, right? And then this wick shows that somebody's selling somebody is selling a position enough to make the price move down. Then it opens and then moves back up. But what I want to see that's even more important, that it kind of dives into it, is down here, the volume, right? So if you go back over here, imagine if, kind of winging this, but imagine that this has a nice volume, right? And yeah, say it's got green volume. All right, whatever. Well, then the next one, the doji candle, is even higher. And then this one is high, but it's red. The reason I like this, the reason I like this is because when I start seeing, big volume, and imagine, like before this move, actually, I want to add a little bit more context to this. So imagine that, the candle before, it really doesn't matter. Like, say it's trading okay volume, whatever. Like I said, the candle really the color doesn't really matter. But what you want to see is, what does matter is this. It's pretty good, okay, and all of a sudden rips up, and then this has a huge body of volume. What that means is that imagine that this is like, a whole or $half number. There's going to be a lot of people that are greedy that are like, say this, some of these will go from, it really doesn't matter what the number is, but like it goes up a decent amount of range, and then it catches people's eyes. Think about it, if you guys have ever, started trading and, everyone's like, oh, this stock's going to go to the moon. It's going to go to the moon. Okay, that's exactly, these guys are buying in. This doji candle up here means that some big institution or some big short seller or someone with money is selling their position that they've been waiting for all these greedy guys to start buying in and throwing, money into a stock that's going to be like the next Tesla. But it's a small cap stock. And most of these small cap stocks, they gap up, They're going to go right back down to where they came from. But what you need to do is you need to wait for the timing. And when you start seeing this thing come up, there's going to be people that start buying breakouts, and then they get sold into. And this, like I said, this doji can be an indecision candle. And when this thing opens and pushes and it can't go any higher, this could be a good entry to get into, close down, or what's even better, honestly, and I feel like safer, is another green candle with another wick. And with with a lower volume, because I want most of the volume to be trapped right in here, because those guys, when they start freaking out and this starts going down and they start going, oh shit, like I'm losing money, and they panic, it's going to fuel this to go to the downside. That's how you make money as a short seller. You short up in here, and then it fails, and you make money. And that's, basic market mechanics. Then, you plug it all in. What is your strategy? How I teach you guys in the very beginning is, it doesn't matter if, you get in at the very, very bottom. Say your entry is, and you're a beginner, and you freak out and you get in right there. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is going to be, I don't know how I can do that. This is very, very new to me. Let's do this. I don't know if this is going to work or not, so bear with me. Okay, well, that did not work. I got an idea. No color. Okay, so it's got the outline of the golden zone, right? Well, what you're going to be risking is you're going to be risking the high, right? So when I started explaining, the pre-market high, say it's up here, that's going to be your level. So whatever your dollar risk is, you're going to get in somewhere in this zone. The more experience you have, the better your eye is, the better you can read price action. You might get in right here. Like for me, for instance, I would imagine I would be getting in right in here. Worst case scenario, there. I'm going to be getting in somewhere in here. That's me. But even if you are a beginner and you get in right here, that's fine. You already have your risk calculated up here. But what you want to do is, okay, this goes in. Then once you start having experience, when you start understanding how things work, okay, you start looking for chart patterns. What is it doing in this zone? Now, if it starts doing this kind of stuff, but it's not in the zone, you don't care, because it doesn't matter. It only applies to you if it's in this zone. If it's not in the zone, it's not worth you taking a trade. And you're always risking up here. And that's the easiest way for you guys to start trading. So, when people start saying, "Oh, well, it's super easy, man. You just buy the dips," which is, longs. When you start learning how to short, everyone's like, "Oh, you just short the tops. You just short the tops." It's like, yeah, but what does that even mean? It means that you start shorting up in here when you start seeing the doji, these long wicks at the top. You need to start seeing the price action. And, I'm going to explain really fast before I end this lesson. This is my trade today. I started trading. I start seeing this. these long wicks. The other thing is the volume. Long green candle, just like I told you, and then the volume is going down. It's dropping. I want to see the volume going down. I want to see these long wicks. It shows me that there's somebody selling into this, and that's how you stay safe as a short seller. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I will be back to make the next beginner series. Later.